Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel to help you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, creativity. 5 soft skills to change your life forever. If you like communication and you want to keep on leveling it up, make sure you hit subscribe. Today, I have my friend Jon Tavarez on with me, and we're going to be entering the world of social dynamics and talking about networking. Jon is one of the co-founders of the Tampa Bay Masterminds, which is a group that is growing like wildfire. And Jon's one of the brains behind it. How are you, my friend?
Good, good. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to see you once again. So like Armand said, I'm one of the founders of Masterminds Tampa, and we're basically a group of entrepreneurs and marketers that meet up once a month, and we just host an event or a social in which we have a special speaker or a couple of speakers that speak on a topic that can help you improve your business or your personal brand. We also have socials, which we just hang out and chill casually. We don't have any pressure. The good thing about our community, our group, is that we're more like a family. We have a Facebook group that's private, and everybody's pre-approved. Everybody has to be either an entrepreneur, a marketer, or something relevant. And everybody in the group, so far, the majority of members, they love to share. They love the vibe of the group. They don't feel pressured to hand over a business card. It's more of like, let's build relationships and improve each other's lives and businesses. And everybody has that vibe. So that's like our culture now. And last year we started this group with like 3 people.
Wow.
3 or 4 people. And yeah, we just came up with this idea over dinner. We met up for that reason to discuss that. But in a year we've grown to over 400 members, and we keep attracting like very good people to our group, entrepreneurs and marketers. Today we just approved somebody that they moved from San Francisco after selling their company to one of the PayPal co-founders, and they saw us on Instagram and they were like, "Hey, I'd like to join, and what do I have to do for that?" I told them to just apply on Facebook, and then they can get access to our family resources. So
Wow.
that's what Masterminds Tampa is all about: just sharing resources, improving the business and tech scene in Tampa. Because personally, I was kind of disappointed that whenever I would go out, I wouldn't have people to talk to about what I like to talk about, which is tech, business, just talking about awesome things, technology. Most people I would go out with, they're great people, but they would love to just focus on like sports and music and stuff. And I love that. But like every day I'm doing business. I'm using technology. I'm on the internet. So it was hard for me to find my niche or my group in that sense. So it's one of the reasons that we created Masterminds Tampa along with Oscar Garcia.
See, that's the amazing thing. And you did mention while you were introducing this that Masterminds Tampa has like this family vibe to it. And it feels like you guys did an amazing job in creating a culture where it doesn't ever feel like you're networking with someone. It really feels like you're connecting. And one of the things that I've realized nowadays, Jon, is that when people think networking, they get like a really bad vibe out of it. I mean, I'm sure you've had to deal with it too since you've been in the business world, where you go there, you go to a networking event, you put on like a smiley face and start hawking out business cards. But what do you say about networking, or like, what is your personal definition where it's not like that? You guys have a different vibe. Like, what is your personal definition?
Yeah, so it's not really networking. What we do is more of just relationship building,
That's a good way to
and
put it.
yeah, because it's like we don't have any requirements. You can go to our meetings dressed in your pajamas. We don't care as long as you
Try that
provide
next time.
value. And I know in Tampa, it's kind of like taboo because Tampa's still not a huge city. You know, you can get away with getting to a networking event or an event in your pajamas, maybe in Los Angeles or something like that. But Tampa is more of like a formal environment. But I didn't like the formal environment in Tampa, so I wanted to create something where everybody can just do what they want, be how they want, and share resources with each other. And in terms of the culture, we are more of a family because we constantly connect with our members. We're always meeting up with them like individually. Like you and I met up about a few weeks ago, and we had some coffee and stuff. Like that's what it's all about. And the interesting thing is that we don't consider ourselves, we don't call members. We say masterminds, like Mastermind Arman, because that's what you are. You're part of the mastermind family, and that's how we're going to refer to people in the group.
I like that. I like that. And it gives you an informal tone as well, because when you're too formal, it really hinders like the ability to turn that person from a business connection into a personal connection. And it seems like when you say something like Mastermind Arman, it gives you that like that personal touch. Now, John, basically say someone is, let's say he's really introverted or shy, or say he considers himself socially awkward. How would you recommend that person carries themselves when entering a social event or a networking event?
I used to be a lot more introverted. I don't know. I've kind of opened up. I think it's because of masterminds, but I would recommend, I would recommend finding someone in the group. Like, for example, if they're coming to masterminds, I would recommend them reaching out to one of the admins or joining the group and then reaching out. And I would say, hey, I'd like to, talk to you before the event, maybe 10 minutes before the event. So come early, and then that way you can just stick around with me and the other admins and co-founders. So that way I can introduce you to the members. Like I can be the point of contact where you come with me and I introduce you to a new member, and then I introduce you to another one. Typically, if you're introverted, that's the only like barrier, that you don't have the confidence, or you feel too shy to like say, hey, I'm Joe, what's your name? Like that's typically what I think. So if we can break the ice by, someone that's already on the inside saying, hey, he's with me, this is Joe, meet Oscar, then Joe's going to be like, hey, what's up? Like simple, but the approach is really where introverted people get stuck.
Right.
So go with somebody that's already part of the group and has the connections with everybody in the group, and they feel at ease. And that's your like bridge right there. You don't have to even introduce yourself. You don't have to approach anybody because that person will introduce you to everybody. And, by the end of the meeting, you're going to be like, okay, I can come back by myself because I already know everybody.
That's a very, very practical tip, because in today's era, I mean, a lot of people, before they go to a networking event, they'll click attending on Facebook or some kind of digital platform. So, I mean, it's great where you're saying network a little bit before the actual event, where when you get to the event, you do have a few connections. So that's a very good way to put it. And I feel like that is that is one of the really good ways to bridge yourself into multiple different interactions. I mean, that, and another thing is you could always go with a friend. So yeah, no, that definitely helps. Now, in terms of providing value, I always feel like that's one of the best things to do. Before giving a business card, you want to build like that rapport, that friendship. You give that person some value as well, where you see what that person is going through, certain problems, and see if like your service or something like that can help that person, and then give the card, because now the card will mean a lot more. But in today's world, it seems like the reverse, where people are really in a rush to give that card, then dip. but now the card is just kind of like a piece of paper. Do you have any tip, in terms of card giving or even promoting yourself?
I would only give a card if somebody says, "Can I get a card?" Or there's no other way for them to find me, because, like, let's say you're at a big event, there are thousands of people there, and you just hand out your card to everybody that you talk. I mean, first, you're wasting your card, and second, not everybody's going to be someone that's interested. So the people that are really interested, they'll find you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or they'll ask you for the card, like right up front, like, "Hey, let me get your card. That way I'll call you on Monday," or whatever. But for example, in Masterminds, we decided not to have any business cards. Like, we don't allow people to use business cards, because we want people to connect, exchange phone numbers, or connect on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, because that's where the magic happens, when you connect. When you both make the effort to, like, exchange information or just stay within your network. A business card can, like, you can just put it on the table. You have like 10 business cards you got, and after a while, you're like, "I don't need all these business cards. Let me just throw them away."
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't, like, the ones that you need, you'll keep, and you'll save it on your phone or whatever. But then you'll throw it away as well, because it's on your phone, right? So it's like, you're not going to just take up space. So I think that the secret to connecting with people is to really just vibe with them. See if you guys can provide value to each other, and follow up, later on. But the pressure of giving a business card I don't think it works anymore.
It doesn't work anymore. And when you just said follow up, I feel like that's like the biggest part in networking. I mean, going to the actual event, introducing yourself or having someone introduce you, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But what really matters is how you follow up afterwards. And now there's so many social platforms. You have LinkedIn, you have Facebook, you can message each other on Instagram. I mean, us being able to interact right now, it came from like an Instagram story where we were just interacting with each other. So, I mean, social media at this point really breaks down a lot of these like the location barriers where you can't. That's why it really is the following up. One of the ways that I saw it before was like, introducing yourself to someone and not following up is kind of like filling up a balloon and not tying the knot.
Yeah, exactly.
You just kind of wasted your time. Like, so yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. The social media platforms is where you want to follow up. And even live meetups, like what we did where we had the coffee, we were really able to understand each other's business. Now, just to transition to the next state, now I'm pretty sure at this point within our convo, people understand the value in networking with one another. But do you have any of those moments where you did make a connection with the right person who really reframed your entire business?
Who reframed my entire business?
Yeah, or even like helps you aid in your business.
Well, for example, we have one member or one mastermind in the group called Vadim Davidov, and he attended one of our events last year, and he thought I was like some big shot or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, this guy has a lot of people here. He must be a big shot, whatever." But we ended up like following up with each other and connecting. And I went over to his studio for like a session, and from that point on, we got to know each other. And he upgraded my personal brand just with the headshot that I have. And he's come over for like holidays, and we go out to dinner, his wife and my wife. And in business, we're currently in talks of like partnering up. So
wow,
that's one thing that happens. It happened because of Masterminds, because he attended, we clicked, we saw value. Now we're in discussion of partnering up and getting an office space together. So that's something that affected my business. or
and
is
that
affecting my business.
right, and that happened because of that human interaction that you two had. For my personal story, John, you were actually a part of it. Where when we did have coffee, I was like, "Hey, John, I mean, I'm thinking about doing this, doing that, doing that. What do you think?" And you giving me the feedback really allowed me to, think the right way, which
Yeah.
ultimately helped me land my clients and fine tune my website more. And
Awesome.
these are stuff that you could research on Google for hours and hours and hours, but you don't even know if you're getting the right information. So
Yeah.
networking gives you that ability to, I like to say, short circuit the system. What do you think about
hmm
that?
Can you repeat that last part? Sorry, my dogs were being noisy.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I basically said networking allows you to short circuit the system, where a lot of people, and especially in the school system, we're really taught to, work by ourselves, research, do that kind of stuff. But in the real world, it's a lot about collaboration, combining minds, and reaching your end goal faster.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Like, I just finished reading a really good book that I would recommend to anyone in business. It's called Principles of Life and Work by Ray Dalio. And in one of the principles, he, like, throughout the whole book, he was mentioning that it's better to get an opinion from a believable person, someone who has a proven track record and is respected in their specialty, than getting an opinion from just anyone, because getting a wrong opinion from someone that's not qualified is worse than getting no opinion. So if, for example, I specialize in building communities, for example, and you have a question about building communities, I mean, it would be better to ask someone who's done it, like myself, even though it's not a huge group, but I've done it, and then maybe asking a random friend, what you think, because that friend might think they know what they're talking about, but why? Why do they know? Like, they can't just know without doing it. I mean,
Yeah,
they might
that's
have
true.
heard something, but you can't put your trust in that because they haven't done it. So yeah, when you join a group like Mastermind, which is more like a family, you have these, it's kind of like nodes, like kind of like we're nodes in a brain or neurons, and we're all connected. But we know, like, for this thing, we can contact this person. For that thing, we can contact that person. And we all value each other because we see each other in action all the time. So we have that trust within each other. And it's like, why would they go ask somebody else when they can ask one of their own people that
With
same
the track
question,
record.
and with trust, and we won't really, like, say, hey, you got to pay us a consulting fee for this simple question. No, you don't have to do that. So it's better
Absolutely.
to ask people within your immediate network, and then if you need more opinions, obviously it's always good to have many opinions. You can go reach out to people outside the network and say, hey, this person said this would be the right way. What do you think? And then you can use that to, like, um, see if that is the right way to go about that opinion.
Yeah, yeah, because opinions, I mean, they say that opinions are the cheapest commodity because
Yep.
everyone has it. And like, for example, say I'm trying to develop a speech. I mean, getting feedback from someone who's never given a speech would probably help me fine tune my speech and, like, is it entertaining enough, something like that. But stage movements, that kind of stuff, a guy with no skin in the game can't really aid me. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa
Mhm.
for you, a person that has never started a business, never been involved in a business, their opinion may not really matter too much when you're trying to start or scale your business. So that
Exactly.
does, yeah, that does mean a lot. That's why having a group of people or having a network of people that you can bounce ideas off because they do have a proven track record is huge, and it definitely does help you with your success. Um,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, John, and that's the thing. With business, there's no structure for it, right? There's certain frameworks that you have to follow, but ultimately you have to use your creativity, and that's where networking is so huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from this episode, we talked about little shortcuts to networking, the value in it, and how to follow up appropriately. Is there anything else that you wanted to add for the audience?
Yeah, so what I would suggest to anyone that's interested in building relationships is to look for groups that you can relate to, groups in which you think they share the same values as you. For example, masterminds are our values are that everybody should share something of value to each other. There's no pressure in terms of having a super professional image, because we're meeting up to become friendly with each other, connect, and sometimes we don't want to wear a suit, so that's one of our good things. It's one of the values that we don't care what you're wearing as long as you provide value, real value. So look out for groups that you can relate to and take advantage of them. If you're an introvert, then reach out to the people that manage that group, like the admins and founders, and say, hey, I'd like to meet up with you for some coffee, or I'd like to meet up with you before the event and chat about this, or get on a call. And that way, that person can be your guide through that whole event or that whole group, and they can introduce you to other people. And it'll be a lot easier for you to break the ice if somebody introduces you, So those are things that I recommend. And don't ever think about what this person can do for me until you figure out what you can do for them. So figure out if you can provide value to them, and eventually you'll figure out if they can provide value to you. So I would switch it around, because most people, they think about, I'm going to go to a networking event and I'm going to meet with people who are making this much money, or who can do this and that. No, meet people, connect with them, and think about how you can help them right on the spot. Oh, I can help this person with their personal brand. I can help this person build a community. Things like that, Eventually, everything will fall into place, and you'll know if they can be of help to you. But always think about giving versus receiving first. Those are my tips.
Wow, that was really good, John. Especially for someone that's a beginner, or even someone that's advanced. I mean, they could really learn a lot from what you just said. And just a few thoughts from my end is basically echoing what John said. I mean, don't go in with that mentality where you're trying to just take the whole time, because ultimately it's not going to end well for you. The first thing that I would recommend is understand why it is you want to network, because a lot of people just kind of enter it because they think that it's something you're supposed to do. But unless you could say in 1 to 2 sentences why you're networking, then don't go to a networking event yet. Figure out your why, and then lead with value. Give so much value where the other person feels a little weird for you never trying to take. And that's when you can start to pitch or do whatever you need to do. So great conversation today, John. I really do appreciate you for coming on today. Where is it that my audience members can find you?
Yeah, so they can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. On Facebook, it's just facebook.com/Jon with no H, Tavarez, Tavarez. And then Instagram, that's my username, Jon Tavarez. And on LinkedIn, you type in Jon Tavarez and you'll click on the guy that has the best headshot. That would be
There we go. Thanks to Vadim.
And then, thanks to Vadim. And then if you want to join the group, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to join the group, you go to facebook.com/groups/Masterminds Tampa, or you can type in Masterminds Tampa in the search bar, and it should show up with a purple brain. So click on that brain and get ready to have your brain explode.
Amazing.
Your mind blown.
I'll be sure to include a few of the links in the description. Thanks again, John, for joining. And if you like more content regarding networking and social dynamics, make sure you subscribe to my free daily newsletter right below. Every single day, I drop a new newsletter to help you level up your soft skills. John, thank you, and I will see you at the next event.
Thanks, Arman. It was a pleasure and an honor for you to have me on this show. So hopefully it provides a lot of value to your viewers, and maybe we can do another one in the future.
100%. Looking forward to it.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.